Picture this. It's Monday morning. You're just settling in at your desk when your inbox lights up with panic. One employee can't log in. Another says their personal information has popped up online. Another says there's a ransomware message on their screen. Suddenly, that calm start to your week turns into chaos. That's how a data breach becomes real and fast. And for small businesses, it's not just a technology issue. It's a legal, financial, and reputational nightmare. The latest research reports put the average cost of a data breach for a small business in the range of 100 to 500,000, and at over 10 million for larger United States-based enterprises. According to Sophos, 9 out of 10 small business cyber attacks involve stolen data or credentials. Also, 43% of all cyber attacks are now targeting small businesses. In 2025, knowing the rules around data protection isn't optional, it's survival. And today, we're going to be talking about it. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Knet, and CEO and founder of Eternal Networks. And here at Eternal Networks, we believe in empowering others with the knowledge that they need to succeed. So every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on all of our socials to discuss educational topics around IT and cybersecurity to help empower others. At Eternal Networks, we're dedicated to creating safe and secure environments for businesses and people to thrive in doing what they love, and helping to educate others on technology and cybersecurity is a key part of our mission. At the end of the live stream, I'll make sure to leave time to answer questions. So if you have any, post them at any time, and I'll make sure I get to those at the end. Now let's get on to today's topic. All right, so let's talk about data regulations and why they matter. Hackers aren't just targeting the big guys anymore. They've realized small businesses are often easier to breach and slower to recover. That's why regulators have been increasingly stepping in hard. In the United States, more states than ever have been rolling out their own privacy laws. In Europe, the GDPR is still setting the global standard. And yes, it does apply to your US-based company if you're handling any EU residents' data. And these aren't symbolic rules. Fines can reach up to 4% of your annual global revenue, or 20 million, whichever's higher. But the damage doesn't stop at fines. A breach or compliance failure can shake your client's confidence in you for years, can stall your operations while systems recover. It can invite lawsuits from affected individuals, and it can spark the kind of negative coverage that no amount of PR can clean up. So yes, compliance protects you legally, but more importantly, it protects the trust that your business runs on. So let's talk about some different regulations. Before you can comply, you really need to know which rules apply to you. Many small businesses serve clients across states or even countries, meaning you might fall under several different privacy laws all at the same time. So let's look at some of the more common ones. I've already mentioned GDPR, which stands for the General Data Protection Regulation. This is an EU regulation, so it's in Europe, and it covers any business that handles the personal data of EU residents, even if you're based outside of Europe. It requires clear consent to collect data, limits how long you can keep it, enforces strong security measures, and gives people the right to access, change, or delete their information. So if your organization has any clients that are in Europe, this applies to you. All right, the next one I want to talk about, this is the CCPA. It's the California Consumer Privacy Act. This is California's version of GDPR. This one gives California residents the right to know what's collected about them, ask for it to be deleted, and opt out of data sales. If your company earns 25 million or more a year and processes a significant amount of personal data, this law applies to you if any of your clients reside in California. All right, here's another big update. There's 8 new states, Delaware, Nebraska, New Jersey, and a handful of others, that have new privacy laws going into effect this year. Nebraska, theirs is especially notable because it applies to all businesses regardless of size or revenue. Many regulations don't kick in until you're a certain size. In Nebraska, if you're in business and you're doing $10 a year, guess what? It applies to you. These state laws typically include rights for consumers to access, delete, or correct their data, and to opt out of targeted advertising. Here's the bottom line. If your business handles personal data, there's a really good chance one or more of these laws apply to you. Let's talk a little bit about what you can do about this, right? So how do you stay compliant without feeling like you're getting buried under bureaucratic red tape? I'm going to cover 6 practices now that really every business should have in place, regardless of whether you know or not that you have regulations. These are just good practices. They're critical if any of these regulations apply to you. Number 1, map your data. You really need to know what personal data you collect, where it's stored, who has access to it, and what are you using it for. And make sure that as you're doing this and mapping this all out, don't forget your backup systems, especially any old. If you've got some old archives that were backed up 3, 4, 5 years ago, don't forget those. You got to know what's on those as well. Or employee devices, right? If employees are downloading copies of things and working on them, you got to keep that in your inventory. All right, number 2, limit what you keep. If you don't need the data, don't collect it. You don't want to be liable for data that is not necessary for your operations. If you do need it, if you have to collect it, keep it only as long as necessary. If the law, if you only need it for a year, get rid of it at the end of the year, right? Make sure that you're not adding increased liability to your organization. And then limit access to only those who truly need it. That's called the principle of least privilege. All right, number 3, create a real data protection policy. Put your rules in writing. Define how your organization is classifying data, where it's stored, how it's backed up, and how you're securely destroying it. Include breach response steps and device security requirements. What is your organization doing to protect this data? All right, number 4, once you have that policy in place, train your team. Keep training them. Don't just train them once. Most breaches happen because of humans, whether that's accidental mistake or intentional, right? Most of them come from human error or human interaction. Teach your employees how to spot phishing, how to use secure file sharing, how to create strong passwords. I could go on, right? Make sure you're training them on these good security practices and schedule that training to happen regularly. Don't just do it once. Don't even do it just once a year, right? Make sure that it's top of mind and you're building it and including it in your culture, right? To train on how to recognize these security risks and how to follow the policies that you put in place. All right, number 5, encrypt everything. Data should be encrypted, both in transit and at rest. This is a requirement in any of these regulations and any good security frameworks. Whether you're looking at NIST, CIS, HIPAA, right? You name it, any of these security frameworks includes data encryption as a requirement. Make sure you have SSL on your websites. Make sure you're using VPNs for remote work and strong encryption for stored files. All right, number 6, the last tip here. Make sure you're securing the physical side, right? We talked about encryption and security on the users and stuff, but make sure that physical access is also protected. Lock your server rooms. Know who's accessing it. Protect portable devices and encrypt anything that could literally walk out the door. Anything that walk out the door could potentially have that protected data on it. Make sure that it's encrypted. Laptops, USB drives, backup disks, anything that could physically leave. Also, if you have physical files, physical copies of this protected data, you better make sure that's protected as well, and that better be included in your policy. Like, what happens when a paper walks out the door? How are you ensuring that that data is still being protected? These practices, they're not designed to just check a box on your compliance requirements. They dramatically lower your risk of a costly breach. A breach response plan is also essential, right? Even the most secure systems can fail. So I've talked about all the things you can do to protect it, but you've got to make sure you have a breach response documented. The difference in how fast you respond is huge. If you suspect a breach, immediately enact your breach response plan. Bring together your lawyer, your IT security, your forensic experts, your insurance team, and your communications team, and work quickly to contain the issue. Isolate affected systems, revoke any stolen credentials that may have been used in the attack, and make sure you're deleting any data that was exposed and protecting as much as you can. Once things are stable, investigate what happened. Document everything and determine who was affected. Most states require you to notify regulators and impacted individuals, and the clock starts ticking the moment you discover the breach. After recovery, take what you've learned, strengthen your defenses, strengthen your team. Every incident should make your organization safer, smarter, and better prepared. And not every incident is going to be a huge one, right? One incident might be a laptop was lost, right? Was it encrypted? Yes. Great, right? Document it, move on. How can you better protect those devices and move forward? All right, let's talk a little bit about, so we've kind of talked about regulations and things that you can do, but what does that mean for your organization? Excuse me. Data regulations really, they can feel like a moving target, right? Because they are. But the truth is, treating compliance as a checklist, really, you miss the bigger opportunity. This is what it truly means to your organization. Showing your customers and your employees that you take their privacy seriously builds trust. It's a competitive advantage. You don't need perfect security. Nobody has it. And if they tell you that they do, they're lying or they're naive. What you do need is a culture that values data, values security, policies that actually work, and a habit of making sure your systems do what you think that they do. That's how you turn compliance into credibility and credibility into growth. I know that data compliance can feel overwhelming, especially when every year it seems like there's new rules that you got to comply with. But protecting your business doesn't have to be complicated. I've helped many businesses over the years strengthen their data protection strategies, meet different compliance requirements, and reduce their risk without disrupting day-to-day operations. Every company's a little bit different, right? You all have different situations, different data that you need to protect. And that's where having the right plan for you makes all the difference. If you're not sure where to start, you can always schedule an appointment with me using the link on your screen or in the chat. We can have a conversation, review your current setup, identify any gaps, and outline practical steps to move forward to keep your data and your reputation safe. All right, let me look and see if we've got any questions or comments from our audience. So we've got a couple people live watching. I don't see any questions from our live audience. So thanks for joining. Those of you that are watching live, really appreciate it. Those of you that are watching after the fact, if you've got any questions, comments, throw them in there. I will definitely see them and respond accordingly to those. If you found this video and this information helpful, please do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with any questions or thoughts that you might have, whether it's related to this or maybe it's other technology questions or other things you'd like me to present on in the future. Your feedback really does help us to create more content that's valuable to you. And that's our goal. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any updates and get those notifications. Remember, knowledge is power, And we're here to help you to navigate the world of technology and cybersecurity. If you need any further assistance, please feel free to reach out to me via DM, or you can always reach our office or email us through our website at itnet.works. Have a wonderful weekend.